With me is, I will just basically bunch him up and call him a creative, okay, because he does a lot of things, but he is, of course, in the film industry. His name is Teekay Duncan. Hello, Teekay.
Hi, how are you doing? I'm doing super good. Yourself?
I'm good. Tell me something. How did you find yourself in filmmaking? Was that by accident, or was it something you actually always knew you wanted to do?
I think it was something I always wanted to do from a tender age. Like me watching films, I always felt like, wow, I wish I could do this, especially when it comes to cartoons and stuff.
Right.
So I really wanted to do animation from a young age because I used to draw a lot.
Okay, all
so
right.
I think it started from a very young age, grade 1, grade 2, somewhere there.
Okay, well, from grade, yeah. Okay, that's focus in life. This is... I know what I want to do. So how did you go about when you then became cognizant of the fact that this was the journey you wanted to take on? So I'm assuming a little bit later on in life when you're a bit older. Yeah. How did you go about actually actively getting yourself in the spaces that you needed to be to make this dream a reality? Apparently
for me, it took a lot of turns. Like, because I mentioned that grade 1 and grade 2, that's when I had like the glimpse of it. It's not like I initiated towards it. Like I took time, I derailed from it one too many times up until after school. Because in college I also did IT. Then after that I was like, nah, this is not really what I want to do. You know, so God was always pushing me along those ways, giving me opportunities to meet creatives, working with them behind the scenes, sometimes just carrying the cables around, and the interest grew from there. Then I had to learn the craft, then I started doing my own things later. I like how you talk about, you know, behind the scenes, sometimes having to carry the cable. A lot of people tend to shun humble beginnings, shun the process of getting to know the space you're entering before you blow up, so to speak. What are some of the lessons that you learned along the way as you worked with some of these different creatives behind the scenes that you think have helped to shape you now as you carry your career forward? I think one of the biggest lessons for me to date is I'm forever a student. No matter how many accolades I get, no matter how many places I get to be, no matter how many faces I get to meet, I am forever a student. Every day I want to learn something new. Right here today, I want to learn something new as well. So for me, that's been the experience, and as far as I can tell, it's been working quite well. Just be a student forever. How is the industry? I mean, do we have an industry to speak of? Honestly, no, we don't. That's the honest truth. You know, like up to now, I think they're still discussing about the film policy. Zimbabwe is over 40 years old, but apparently we don't have a film policy. So apparently the truth is we are not yet recognized here. And it's funny how some of our projects are doing great globally, but back home, you know, they don't appreciate us. But we feel like in time, and there's never a better time than now. So right now we are advocating for the government to speed up the process so that us creatives can also be recognized within the government structures and stuff. Now, as you bear this in mind, how does it shape your actions on a day-to-day basis? How does it shape the decisions that you make in terms of when you are creating your content, when you're putting together those films? How does this lack of policy framework affect that line of work, so to speak? It affects that line of work in a great deal, but for me, I have managed to play around it. Why? Because most of my projects, they are for the global market. Like I have done films for international, specifically for international festivals and international events. So it means I have gone a notch further to say, no, right about now, let me not focus on what's not working, but let me focus on what could work. And apparently it's been working. Like we have received a couple of accolades since 2019 across the globe. So for me, I'm like, till I wait for you to put the house in order, I will do things elsewhere. Yes. Teekay, I love that. And sadly, we are out of time, though. But I want to know from you as we wrap up, as we go forward, what is the future of film in Zimbabwe? The future of film is great. It's super great. But the sad thing about it is, honestly speaking, in Zimbabwe, a lot of things are not going on well. It's not only a film thing. All other sectors are struggling in Zim. So it's a national thing. So I feel when the nation gets to be better, when it gets to be stronger, even the film industry, it won't take time, because if you look at other industries like South Africa, Nigeria, even in America, we have Zimbabweans there who are doing great.
So in the meantime, as we do wrap that up on that note, things may not be going great, but it is up to us to all play our role and make sure we keep it moving, getting to the point that we want it to get to.